Farmer's Keeper.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm the founder of Farmer's Keeper. We're your personal grain merchandiser, and we help farmers sell their grain more efficiently with no margin pricing tools that can be delivered to any elevator that you want. We work with so many farmers all around the country, from North Dakota down to Mississippi, from 150 acres to 90,000 acres in size, and of all levels of grain marketing sophistication. And what we found is there's three basic types of farmers that we look at in terms of where they fall in size categories. On one hand, there are farmers that are 800 to 1,000 acres and below. They probably don't have a big staff around the farm and are doing most of the jobs themselves around the farm, from fixing machinery when it breaks down to going out and planting and harvesting, and then having to go use some type of a marketing newsletter to get information on how they're going to sell their grain. So that's one category of farmer that's doing everything. And typically what we hear them say is, hey, I don't have time to focus on the markets. I'm too busy looking around. I'm not super educated on what's going on. I want you to take some of this off of my hands. Please help me out. Number two is the medium-sized growth farmer. And we see that in a broad range from right around 1,000 acres up until 3,000 or 4,000 acres. What that type of farmer is they probably have somewhat of a staff and a support team below them, whether that's family or hired hands that are not family. They have a really profitable organization that is churning out bushels, and they're probably doing a pretty darn good job of creating yields, and they're trying to grow by leasing land and buying land. And what those farmers are doing is they're busy in managing the whole farm operation themselves. They're constantly pulled in between employees asking them what to do, standing around, trying to keep everybody busy, and fulfilling pretty big grain contracts that they've got to get out to their grain elevators. Those guys know a thing or two about marketing. They probably want to be doing things better in every arena that they can, but other than growing a really high yielding crop, they're not as able to focus on the office work part of farming as they would really like to, that they need to take their organization to the next level. And then finally, we have a third category of farmers that we see that's from that 6,000 to 10,000 acres and above. In that case, those farmers typically have a larger staff. They probably are set up more like their own grain elevator themselves, where they have the trucks and logistics behind it, whether or not it's easy or hard to find drivers for that or workers. They already have commercial grade storage that they're utilizing to sell grain throughout the year. But for them, they're probably speculating in the market, using a futures and options hedging account. They're probably getting advice from a grain marketing service, and they probably have really strong relationships with their elevators. The point is, none of those organizations can tell, and nor can any commodity broker out there, where the grain markets are going to go. The best thing you can do with the resources that you have, no matter what category you fall into, is to be able to take what your risk parameters are and execute that in a really fundamentally sound way according to what you need to do for the profitability of your own business. Farmer's Keeper is not a commodity brokerage trying to guess where the markets are. In fact, most of the farmers that sell grain through our service and platform actually already have their own grain marketing advisor that advises them on how they should make some of their cash sales using our pricing tools, so that they don't have to worry about margin calls, or so that they don't have to worry about locking in their grain with one particular elevator until they're really ready to set basis later on. So if you fall into any one of those categories, from 1,000 or smaller acres, 1,000 to 3,000 or 4,000, and then 6,000 acres up, we're a fit for you as a service, because you can use us as a way to sell physical cash grain without worrying about margin calls and having the flexibility to take those futures contracts and deliver them to any elevator you want. If you're interested in more information, go to www.farmerskeeper.org, or you can call our team at 855-356-7733.
Farmer Farmer's Keeper.